be your tips on coping with grief?
Coping with grief. I think the most important tip, you could say, would be you have to talk about how you're feeling, and you have to talk about the person that's passed. I think you cannot avoid grief. You cannot avoid the emotions that grief stirs up inside you, and you need to be able to cry. You need to be able to laugh certain times. There's still, life goes on around you. You have come to a standstill, there's no doubt about that. And it's almost as if around you everything is still happening. And there will be people that will be laughing when you are in their company. So you need to be able to interact with people. And to do that, you need to be able to talk. And you could almost say everything else follows on. The most important thing about coping with grief is allowing your emotions to be there. If you bottle anything up, you're creating a volcano. It's just the top's gonna come off sooner or later.
How can people keep the memory of their loved ones alive?
Oh, many ways. Many ways of keeping that person still with you. Everyone knows how I feel about photographs. I love them. And photographs are so evocative. We are back in that moment when that picture was taken. We are back in that moment, either taking the picture or watching that photograph being taken of our loved ones. So photographs are really important. Being able to talk about that person is really important. And if you find that people are trying to block you from talking about that person because they feel uncomfortable, that's their problem. Do not feel uncomfortable about your loved one that has passed. Embrace them, embrace their memory. As you can tell, I'm passionate about that. And I have to say that, because we cry, because we feel like screaming, and we do scream, because some people get hysterical, that doesn't matter. They are getting their emotion out, and that is what is important. And I think that, especially for children that grieve, we need to allow them to grieve for that loved one. It may even be an animal, it may be a pet. And, we love our animals so much, especially children. And I think that my biggest coping mechanism is, let's talk about this person. Let's talk about this situation. Let's cry together. Let's laugh together. Yeah.
So that keeps their memory alive. That would be your tip.
Oh, it keeps their memory alive. I mean, if you're crying because of a loved one, that loved one is with you. What triggers the crying? It can be a smell. It can be how someone turns their head. Someone who's in the room and you think, oh my goodness me, my John used to turn his head like that. Especially when you're with relatives and you see literal likenesses of that person, their memory is going to be alive. If you've really loved a person that you have lost, you never lose that memory of that person. Kiss to heaven.